Okay, folks, happy Sunday. Let's move some of this stuff to the side. And I'm a little under the weather, but really under the pollen. That's what I figured what this is. The storm just kicked up a bunch of pollen when it came through here. Although it wasn't windy, I don't know what it was. Time change. I feel like I'm sick, but I'm not, so. So we're gonna work on some of the stuff that we had to do yesterday. And that was replacing the hatches here on these 234 model 1941s. I only had one hatch that was good. Another one that was looked like it had been through some stuff. And so I figure I need to make two. I think these are cured enough, although the leftovers kind of bendy a little bit. Let's see what we got inside here. This mold seems to be better than the other ones. Their case size wise. Yep. Let's trim it up and see if we can't get it to work here. Now we actually went out to the garage and found an extra X-Acto knife, so now we got a couple. Let's put a sharp one in for this. You've probably been cutting up pieces of those T-34s. Remnants of the T-34s. These are going to be molded shut. So I just kind of crudely cut the outline here. Let's just see if this. Yeah, it's going to fit on there, but we're going to have to cut some of that thickness off, which we know is always a thing. We may have to wait for that to harden a little bit more. It's still kind of bendy. I swear this stuff is like rubber. And I mean that's a good thing. Now we took off part of the hatch. Okay, so this isn't as easy as it seems like it is. So we'll have to make another one for that one. Bye bye. Shit happens, even when you're careful. Well, let's cut this one up and see if we have to make two more. That was not molded well. Okay, well, so it goes. Proof that not everything goes according to plan. I don't care. I got lots of different stuff to work on. I wasn't going to paint those anyways this morning. They're out in the garage. Well, we got a whole tray of stuff that's going to that's ready to go seal. See if there's any other stuff that we could add that way. We got these. Talk about something for an experienced builder. These are made, I believe, by a company called Skiff. You wouldn't be able to know what the name of the company is looking at the box of them because I can't make out the Cyrillic numbers, the Cyrillic letters. But this is kind of a world of extremes. There's some really detailed stuff and some stuff that, like, why didn't they bother doing that? So it's a T26S, sometimes it's referred to, model 1939. It's the last version of the T26. And it's the one that has the better looking turret, in my opinion, the conical turret. The turret has two hatches in it. Both of them are molded closed. Yet it's got photo etch parts. So why would you make a turret that's molded closed, but then give people that have to fool with a photo etch part? Which the problem with a photo etch part is just that you're trying to glue the edge of this on something that's not there. So we're going to have to pull out our friend Mr. Epoxy and epoxy that down. I've already tried to use super glue, and it's a decent little model other than that. No hatch option. Which is kind of crazy. You think of it. A T-34 of this period has one big hatch, and this one has two. This one's maybe more accommodating than the other one. So I think this one's done, other than I need to fix this little flap. I got these on eBay for about $6 for two kits, plus the shipping. And here's the other one I was working on. I don't dislike photo etch at all, other than how you have to glue it. That I dislike a lot. So we said we're going to do Soviets, so let's do some Soviets. Let's get these things up off the ground. And get these non-Soviet things out of here. Here's the turret for the other one. Oh, that's a good thing to find. Here's the tracks for it. Okay, these are pieces for the KV. Kubovac, it actually looks like it's in decent shape. Wow. I didn't think I had any of those. I'm about a Kubovac in 30 years. and they've all been through hell. There's the other machine gun. I was looking for those two machine guns. For the JS2s. Why I didn't finish this one. It's gonna get finished. Little Martyr from Plastic Soldier Company. Let's put these Germanic jokers back. Is this my spares box? Oh no. These are my things I started relatively recently and need to finish. You know, whether it's something that I went ahead and sprayed since I was spraying out there. You know, Hummel that I need to redo the camouflage. It's barely visible. A little too subtle for my taste. My Panzerkampfwagen. There you go. Use all the letters, but just scramble the order they're in. Panzerkampfwagen. My Panzerkampfwagen 4H from Revell. Nothing wrong with this. It's just not doing it next. Should do it relatively soon. It's a beautiful model. With separate link track. Yeah, kick that thing's ass. Did a really good job on that part, as a matter of fact. But I was looking for these two AA machine guns for my two JS2s that have not finished. So we're going to go fish them out. Panzerkampfwagen. Sounds like something you bring to a party to play music out of. Hold on a second. Let me change the channel on my Panzerkampfwagen. It's all fun and games till they start burning books, folks. And the problem is they're not burning the right ones. All right. No, I got a lot of spares. I got spares, and that's not spares. These are things that are in progress. I got a lot of spares. And I got a lot of, like, junk, unfortunately. And speaking of junk, I want to show you guys something. I cleaned this area up over here, organized it a little bit more last night. It's in better shape. I got a lot of spares. Is my phone finally updated? This is one drawer. Of course, the thing I just put back in is here. This is just one drawer of spares. The stuff on the left is spares. Why did this restart? That's nice. Jesus. Plastic Soldier Company just pollutes you with all kinds of spare parts. I don't have a heart to throw away. I just don't. I just don't have a heart to do it. Now we're getting somewhere. Hold on. guys really shouldn't be in here. You get damaged. This is the skiff stuff right here. This, see this? That's skiff. Sikio. I don't know. These people are crazy. What the F is this? Oh, jeez. I don't even know how I have these. Well, this is all Soviet stuff, so it's gonna come out here. Oh, look, I found two things that are in the wrong place. Perfect. What else we got here? No, we're not gonna mess with the 187 scale Soviet stuff. We've done enough of those right now. We got some other things that are waiting in the wings here. Quite some time. Including a pair of JS2s. And 3 SU-76s. See, I still probably have. Is this the junk drawer? Yeah, this is one of the junk that has all the VP cast stuff in it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. A lot of stuff, not a whole lot of hope in it. I've made a lot of really good deals. So occasionally you're gonna do ones that are kind of nuts. This is what I wanted to show you. I should get a box for this stuff that's on here. Certainly I have a spare box. I did. That's what happens. I'll go out and I'll spray something. I'm like, I feel like spraying something else. And I'll do a round. And I'm like, well, while I'm out here, let me go ahead and get this other stuff. It doesn't really go with anything else. We need to finish these skiff things soon because they've been waiting on the wings, and you know the only reason I ended up losing one part, which I can remake now, maybe, although those hatches didn't turn out great. We'll get them. Just make another mold. You just found 2 first to fight 7TP kits during your clearing out. A standard one and one with the 2 MG turrets. You have 2 9-liter boxes of spares. What the hell is a 9-liter box? That's pretty big. Yeah. I'll probably have more than that. I mean, not if you melt it down. A plastic soldier company just gives you so much. And it's annoying that there's some things that I have a ton of. Like I've got tons of extra like M5A1 hulls. I only bought 1 pack of them. Man, they give you a lot of extra stuff. Tons of stuff for the martyrs. And you know, if you have the martyr Czech 38 set, if you build the Czech 38, you have all the extra martyr stuff, and it's a lot. And I cut it down so some of the sprue's gone. And then when you build the martyrs, you have all the extra Czech 38s. I'm not going to throw that stuff away. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but then I have no extra 30 caliber machine guns, like, or 50s. Oh well. Soviet stuff. Yeah, there's still two more kits in there. So what I ended up getting is, I ended up getting two of these. They were bagged. And two of these. So two flamethrower OT-133s and two 226, they call them ones, but model 1939 ones. And that's the parts from. They came like in bags and stuff. This is what I was like, oh shit, I have this because I don't have enough T-34s. I actually don't know how I have this. These are a couple of Eschi model. Oh shit, this is right. This is something who's, ooh. What kind of glue? I don't know what kind of glue that is. This is like something I got from somebody else. Anyways, this has two tracks. This is I don't have any of these. Well, apparently I have two of them. This is the Model 43 ones from Eschi, the latest one with a cupola on them. You know, when these are in service, they're at a big disadvantage. They're at a big disadvantage because the Germans have Panthers and shit. I didn't even know I had these two. Why are they here? What's wrong with them? Do the tracks not work? We could probably fix that. Okay, so that broke. Zippity doo-dah. I've got staples. And these have the all steel wheels. Shit. These things are going, these jokers are going in service. Unfortunately, they're 172nd, and all the other T-34s are 176th. But I don't care. What am I going to do? Not use them? I didn't know I had these. You always hear these stories about, oh, I had all this stuff I found, I didn't know I had it. And I'm like, you guys are crazy. I'm right there with you. Save me a seat. Yeah, this actually may have ripped, and it's supposed to be like this. And that's why I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do now. I'll fucking staple it and hide the thing underneath there. I mean, they're going to go on a stand anyways. Is that what kind of fitment we're talking about? I'll epoxy the living shit out of this thing. No, we can totally make that work. But it's going to take some help from our friends. Yeah, we could totally put these in action. Cool, I had no idea. Just when I think I'm done with T-34s, there are more. Shit. They're reproducing like rabbits. Commie rabbits. The Wolf Slayer. Sorry about last night. I got a call after I commented. What happened? My video out in the garage pissed me off. If there's one thing that's really bad, that I'm really bad in dealing with, is being rushed. Especially when I'm not expecting it. And one of the things when I'm setting up this camera is, you know, you got these tiny buttons when you're filming through the camera on live. Not in a regular video, but when you're doing it on live, there's not enough buttons. And I don't do it enough, but I don't want to bring the whole computer out there. And it's really finicky about the horizontal positioning and shit like that. So I did that, and I accidentally set the video off in motion before I was able to do the right thumbnail or the subject or monetize it. So I got a 3-hour video that didn't get monetized until, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I lose 25 cents. Who gives a shit? Oh, yeah. Well, see, so here's the thing, and you've heard me talk about this recently. I'm like, hey, my video's flipped. Is it flipped for you guys? And it wasn't. So I kind of ignore the fact that it's flipped, and I checked it yesterday, and now sometimes when it is flipped, it is flipped. I'm like, I'm just, a lesser man would have quit doing videos by now. It's just so fucking frustrating. It's not a hand grenade. You didn't flip the video. Or did you? Yeah, well, I'm on the computer. It's the right way around. It just doesn't make any sense to me that I'd be able to see something backwards but it's correct for everybody else. But sometimes I see it backwards and it's incorrect for somebody else. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, we gained a couple T34s that I didn't have. So, and they're not very good models, but they're better than the Skytrek stuff. Yeah, so these are pretty much, I'm not going to attach these together until they're sprayed because it makes it easier to get in between all this stuff. Yeah, these came out like around August, September 1943. I don't think they were around by Kursk. But they are 1/72nd scale. And I don't know what kind of glue this is. That doesn't look like any glue I've ever used. It's not epoxy. It's not glued well. I must have gotten these used from somebody. This is my work. Oh yeah, we got the Mandingo stapler here. This is the one that you go to the. Tell me I got some staples in there. This is the one from the. Oh fuck me, Route. Sons of bitches. Is it standard staples? Great. I don't have any here. I bet. But what is it here with no staples? This is the one that I bought to go to the gun range. You need one of these things to put your targets on and stuff. Made in. What do you think this is made, folks? You're never gonna guess. I can't even believe it. I'll let you guess. Not that it's that exciting. Actually, I have a lot of stuff from there. Do I? Nah, I don't know if I have a lot of stuff from there, but. Should I paint this first? Maybe I should paint this first, make my life easy. Then put this on. I don't know, I didn't come on here to do this, damn it. I wasn't even expecting to find these guys. Well good, so we got another couple T-34s of a model I don't have any of. Okay, but I found the two AA machine guns for the whatever the hell those things are called, JS2s. But this is what I wanted to show you in this grab bag. I've gotten some good deals and occasionally I make bad calls. Belarus. That is a good guess. Sweden. Fucking made in Sweden. Belarus is a good guess. That's just a shitty little annoying country, right? We want to be Putin's bitch. Okay. I made some good deals and occasionally I make some, I've made some bad calls. These spare pieces, I don't know that a lot of this stuff is even worth my time messing with. Let's take a look at this Panther. This is classic. I'm like, all right, well, I'll order a battle from, I'll order a barrel from a 3D printer. And we could maybe put this back to use. This looks to be a don't know if it is the Hasagawa one. You gotta see this shit. This is put together by somebody. That's never put a model together. And doesn't read, I'm not saying doesn't read instructions, doesn't read fucking pictures. You gotta see some of this. This is classic. I should save this. This is classic. This is like how not to do something. Well, you don't know what an 8-year-old, this 8-year-old wouldn't done this shit, okay? Just look at a fucking picture. Okay, this is a Panther D. The barrel is stuck, okay? Which, you know, whatever. I can make it, you know, so the barrel doesn't move, whatever. I don't care. I actually have this spare wheel, so that's not a problem. The track looks all right. I actually have this spare wheel as well. Let's see if I can get this closer. And the light on here. All right. So you've got this commander that's stuck in this turret. And the hatch for the commander is stuck over here. I don't know, kind of fucked up configuration that is. And then you got this tool set. And the only reason I know about this is this reminds me of the old Tamiya Panther, which was one of the first Panther models I built. It's over here, which normally it's up here at the front. Anyways, it's stuck on the middle. All right. And let's give them another set back here. And then that same one that's up here is back here in the back. It just a shit show, just an overall shit show. So I don't think I want to mess with this thing. Yeah, why would you have glued that on there? That's the hatch for the commander. Kid now works at Burger King. I just don't get it. And then the other Panther, technically I didn't pay anything for those things, but the BP cast things I got, they're not very good. This is another one of these. Ooh, look, it's a Pink Panther. And hey, you decided to put the hatch in the right place on this one. And the turret moves. Wow. However, you've got this tool set and stuff kind of in a messed up location. I don't know if these are worth messing with or even making into a wreck. You know, the only reason to do this is to take pictures before, and I can salvage it and, you know, make it look like a half miracle. But I don't want to use a half miracle on one of those. Belarus grows a lot of watermelons. That is the extent of the tourism brochure. You got pretty girls there? I know the Lithuanian and the Latvian girls are really pretty. I'm not going to tell you why I know that, but let's just say I wasn't looking for them in particular. So I don't think these two are even worth my time fooling with. This and then some of the stuff that I got, they were brand new kits. I don't know if they're worth messing with either. Look, so I threw $20 away. I've made some killer deals on other stuff. I'm not afraid of showing the mistakes I fucking make, you know? Here's one of these BP cast things. I don't know if you could tell. It's got just a shitload of little holes in them, bubbles. Look at the front of it. I mean, I don't know that it's worth my time. I mean, it looks like the whole damn thing was melted. I don't know that I don't know that I should be worrying about that. It's literally like one of the worst models I've ever seen. Even the frontline one was better. The frontline one was pretty bad. That M4A4 frontline, but it's brilliant compared to that. I don't know. You can't all be winners. So then you got like this truck. It looks like fucking trash. I mean, you know, I just. Now this Panzer II from Matchbox, it might be salvageable. And there's no paint on it, thank the Lord. Well, we'll see what the, you know, I'm gonna wait for where the 3D printer comes in, the 3D printed stuff comes in, because those aren't very expensive. And as much as I'd like to put together like this Comet, which by the way is a huge vehicle, I don't know why it's so damn big. It might be better off with me just throwing it away, or you know, keeping the spare wheels or something like that. Use them for, and then just get a 3D printed Comet. If I want a Comet that bad, which I don't, it's kind of late, but I really don't want all this late war stuff, and I have it. So now these have already been washed, right? Yeah. Okay. Had no idea these 234s were there. All right. So here is the missing piece on these Joseph Stalins. I knew I had them here. I just misplaced them between the move and everything else. So these are actually ready, other than this, because the tracks are painted, right? Which means it's ready to be weathered. We're ready to weather these two, which means before you weather them, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna paint them. Okay, so these two are ready for that. And the SU-76s need the tracks painted, and then they'll be in the same boat as they are. So it seems like tracks and wheels on the SU-76s are next. And then we can do those. Skiffies, we're gonna work on them soon. Maybe even later today. We'll get those T-34s in operation. Now there was one part I just saw on the KBs, on the JS2s. It was in that catch-all box. It's in that yucky colored plastic. There it is. And that's the hatch for the JS2. And speaking of the hatch for the JS2, which I'm going to make open, I don't know where the hell this clown went. But I got several of them. So let me get another one of these guys ready. talking about this prick figure. I've got one somewhere that's primered, so I'm going to go ahead and primer him as well. Because one of these Soviet tanks is going to have this bastard handing flowers to everybody. Commie stooge, okay. And the bottom of this is sealed. So we want to have this this has got to be cut relatively low. Well, let's trim him up first. By the way, where's the camp? This okay? Yeah, I guess it is an okay location. The worst part about soft plastic figures is this. You can't scrape the stuff off. You have to slice it off. About there. I'd almost feel bad for this guy if he wasn't a devout communist. Not like the Nazis either. Can you just go to a room and, rape each other and not watch? There we go. But neither one of them is one of the 10th worst empires, like the United Kingdom of history. God. Crazy fucking people. Come here, little boy, I have petunias for you. And you got this guy that also fits in the hatch as well. So you've got, I don't know that I'm going to leave them. I don't know that I'm going to glue them in. Oh, good Lord. These junk tanks out of here. Get your junk ass tank out of here. Anyway, so this Panzer IV that I finished yesterday, so they're not sealed yet. That's the problem with going over those little hatches on the side. is it laid flat, but because it has a larger distance to travel to go up over that viewing port, it shrinks the number. So they're both the same size, but the 3 is a lot smaller, or it looks like it that way. Well, I'm just going to leave it as it is, but that is a problem I hadn't really considered. It does lay flat over it, though. The microsol worked pretty well. Shit happens. Didn't look good on the real tank anyways. Petunia Petrov here. But these are excellent figures. Excellent, excellent figures. And I'll be getting more of them because I've got, I don't know, I got some sandy British tanks I think coming that are going to need some tank commanders. I hope they look okay. We're going to do some amazing stuff if they do. Switch this thing out. I mean, this thing isn't behaving like it's new. I gotta slice this stuff on like it's really expensive ham. You know, when you hear about these JS2s that are a heavy tank, but they weigh about the same as a Panther, you're like, how's that possible? And you put it next to them, like, yeah, Panther's even bigger, you know. But the working conditions inside this thing must have been terrible. I believe this ammo is 2-part ammunition too. This one's being a lot more difficult than any of the other ones that I've done. It's only because it has flash. If it didn't have flash, if the manufacturer had done their job, okay, that came off nicely. I have a feeling though that the ranges that I'm talking about in my game, the 85 millimeter is going to be better than the 122nd. This game's just too up close. I don't know how many actions it'll take to reload a 122 millimeter, but I'm suspecting maybe 4. I honestly don't know. I think we're good now. I think we're good now. All right, so let's get a coin. If I don't have one, I'll grab one of the other ones. A little bit of stickum. Two-part shells, a propellant was separate, took ages to load. Played them when Panzer Farm, my PS2 years ago. Made a game called Panzer Farm for the PlayStation. Huh? You know, this guy's is such a small thing. I'm going to super glue him down. I didn't have a PlayStation. Xbox won my console war thing. I was a big fan of Sony products. Yes, I'm a big fan of Sony products. I was always a big fan of Sony products until about 20 years when I realized they were just doing shit different just to be different. Holy Stooge. Like this hatch. I'm going to give you a 2-part hatch. Let's go ahead and remove that and glue it open. Yeah, they carried like 22 rounds between AP and HE, so that's not a lot of AP rounds. And they didn't make a whole lot of them. They made about the same amount of them as they did Tiger 1s. Just over 1,000 of them. Which, I've said this before, the Tiger 1's actually more common than a JS2. Because a JS2 is 1,000 tanks. It's 1,000 of them versus, 50,000 T-34s. There's a lot less German main battle tanks made. So in theory, that makes them more common. Now, how is this going to work? Well, if this narrows the opening a little too much, we'll just have to put a different figure there. I'm not going to sweat the small stuff. Good morning. Sorry you missed yesterday's hobby marathon. 3 sessions. Nice. Yeah, you were busy baking, man. Just tell him, sorry, honey, Tony's on. You have to cook. I'm here to get you in trouble. I don't really want to use that. I want to put it somewhere that's... That's gonna be a problem. If it breaks off, we'll just epoxy the joker. You do a good job on your own getting yourself into trouble. It's called a compromise. I'll cook for you on Friday through Monday through Friday. I'm not on those days. That's pretty restrictive. It's a pretty restrictive opening there. You might have to use this clown. Does he fit in there? I bet he will. Okay, so this will have to be the guy that goes in there. So the guy that's giving out flowers is somebody else. Not gonna get some love from a KF 2. Okay, so once these little parts are painted, these are good to start looking at decal options, painting options. We don't need those stupid decals. All right. Tracks on the tracks on the SU-76s. Mm. And wheels. And wheels. Let's do the wheels first. Let's get a little bit of water. There ist mein Pipette. I think I have more of these things laying around somewhere. There you are. I see you. You change the bath water soon. And this can't do it. So I always do this, but almost doesn't need to be done. By the time I weather this, it's all but disappeared, but it's not that annoying to do. Not if the paint is flowing right. Well, I don't know when the daughter's going to go back to college. They still hadn't given her the green light. So we had a house full of kids. So we had this postpone that swingers party we were planning on having like 3 times. It's hard to believe that that's a thing. I'm gonna look up, make sure the return rollers aren't rubberized. I don't think they are. T70 would work as well. I guess I should just look at the T70. Oh, I don't like SU-76Is at all. Who painted these? Is this Ruben's work? I bet it is. I bet this is Ruben's work. Victrix. I think it's some ridiculously small size. I bet this is exactly whose work it is. He does some stellar shit. Look at this. Look at this snow camo. I'm not gonna try it with these. Okay, I'll buy more if I want snow SU-76s. I'm gonna try some snow on some of my T-34s that are in the garage. That's pretty fucking amazing. Or it has the look I want it to have. Let's put it that way. Looks good. Okay, still didn't answer my own question. Does that idler actually have a rubber wheel? I don't know. I find that hard to believe. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't think so. What site is that? That's just a Google search. I believe those are by Victrix. Yeah, Ruben does great work. I don't know if that's his. It sure looks like it. All the best painters speak Spanish. All right. Well, I haven't spent a lot of time using a particular function that I think just now I found a use for. And that's Facebook Marketplace. You guys bought anything on Facebook Marketplace often? I actually came across something. I've been looking on there to see if they've got somebody selling a roof rack. You know, one of those things that people buy and like they find out they don't use it. You know, somewhere you could go and pick one up or whatever. You can find one. It costs a lot less there. And then I got a post suggested about model kits. And I'm like, holy shit, there's this guy that has a bunch of model kits on there for a reasonable price. So I'm like, oh, it's in Gainesville. Yeah, Gainesville, Georgia. Like, no. But I enjoy just looking at stuff, even if you never pull the trigger and buy things. Yeah, I haven't either. My wife has, but I'm just afraid of nefarious people trying to sell something off that doesn't really work. Okay, that one's done. Only gripe about these things is the gluing point on this is very, very small. There's a tiny little area with only this glues on for the barrel. I didn't make any of these hatches open. The driver's hatches open. Like, what's going on here? You know, and take a shell to the face, kind of thing. Just look awkward. So much better than painting 32 Roman sandals at once. I wonder how many people that are subscribers from a long time ago when I was doing DBA stuff go, why is he doing all this World War II stuff now? I'm like, I've always been a World War II stuff. I just did ancients and medievals for 18 years. I've never been an ancients and medievals person. This is my land, man. This is the stuff that I do. There's some older guy, probably about a decade older than me, that posted a couple months ago on some site, and he's like, hey, this is my first foray into World War II, and I'm sitting there thinking, what the fuck have you been playing this whole time? Like, I was playing World War II when I had little MPC figures in 1981, you know? Have you tried to paint Warhammer 40K? No. I'm not interested in the fluff. I don't mind their miniatures. I don't like the business practice of their company. And what I mean by that is I don't mind what the things cost, okay? Because I think that the stuff that they provide is pretty good quality. I just don't like the venue of it is. It doesn't appeal to me. I mean, there's a couple things that I don't like the codex mentality. Like, I want to like buy the rules and all there. I don't want them changing all the time. And you know, I got this rule book, but it's not the latest version. And you got to get the rules for these particular guys that are inside this other codex. It's a little too. Makes my head hurt. Oh, I forgot them. We got a tire back here. We need to put that one on there as well. I've never played Warhammer. Never. I played BattleTech. BattleTech is probably the only. It's the only science fiction / fantasy thing that I've painted stuff for. Probably had 40 or 50 mechs at one point. But the venue doesn't appeal to me, you know. It just doesn't. I'm not interested in reading like fiction. There's too many cool things that really happened that I enjoy. Even when I was a kid, when I was like 10, 11 years old, you know, it was from so many years of watching Guns and Averone. I'm like, I don't need fantasy and science fiction. The only reason I watched any science fiction is because it was on TV. But I've never been a fan of it. A business model driven by FOMO is not one that I'm comfortable with. What's FOMO? Let me look it up and see if I can find it out. FOMO. FOMO. FOMO meaning fear of missing out. Yeah, I don't. Come on, folks. We have a lot of stress in our lives, and our hobby should be to take that away, not to add to it. But if you gave me Games Workshop stuff for free, I wouldn't want to play it because in 3 years they don't support their own system. Come on, you guys got to get into the system. It's great. It's the greatest thing. We fixed all this. These miniatures are great. Awesome. Yes, I'm sold. And, you know, a year and a half into it, yeah, we're going to retire it. I'm like, well, why should I? You're not even loyal to your own products. Why should I be loyal to you? It just doesn't make any sense, you know? We all have limited time on this earth, and these things take a while to build. Now, I know you can use them for other systems. I'm not into science fiction and fantasy. I don't like either one. I don't know if I dislike one more than the other. I probably don't. Science fiction's okay, but then there's some science I don't like. You know, oh, you're a flat earther. No, I'm just talking about there's just some things like maybe you like aliens, but you don't like time travel. Well, you could be in a world that has both. You know. Um, Warhammer 4K started in the late '80s. I know. I had the original book. I had the original book. I don't know how I got it, but and their books are beautiful. Their books are too nice. I don't like this beautiful rule book that I have to flip through it and destroy, so to speak, learning the rule system. I just have this. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I don't like. I don't like damaging beautiful books, and their books are beautiful. And I have a couple of their painting guides. That's probably why I paint the way I do. Is from one of their heavy metal painting guide. I got a couple of them. I haven't looked at them in a long time, but they got me started before the internet. I just didn't like the subject matter that was in there. I'm all over the place. Okay. All right, we got this rear wheel, but not these wheels. Not these wheels. All right, we're gonna do a double check before we're done with this, because nothing more annoying than having to go back and fix something and not fix something, but touch something up. It's a problem with doing multiple vehicles at once. I prefer just doing one. But there's and in fantasy, I've played fantasy games. I play Diablo. I'm a big fan of Diablo, and I actually like that setting. Um, Only video game that my wife will play with me. But the problem with that is just, if it's a setting that you don't get. Like, for instance, Gaslands. I think Gaslands is a good game. It's got a lot of loopholes and a lot of questions you end up having to do, but you figure out. You encounter, kind of like DBA, you always seem to encounter things that aren't illustrated in the rules in every game. But the storyline behind Gaslands is, I don't care for. I was going to say stupid. It doesn't appeal to me. But that's a relatively easy game to be like, okay, we're not on Mars. We're on this, Mad Max world or something like that. Okay, so that's an easy fix. But with fantasy systems, sometimes magic's too powerful. Or it's not powerful enough. Like if you got somebody who's a magic caster, they can only cast this once a day. I'm like, I hope we don't encounter somebody else because, I need to recharge. It's kind of hard to get that balance right that'll suit everybody. And then there's just some environments that just don't appeal to me. I don't really like, I am a human supremacist. I would like to play humans, and that's not saying I wouldn't play other creatures, but I don't like humans and other creatures getting along. I just think it's weird. That's just not human nature. Be like, oh, those guys with horns, let's fucking kill them. I mean, that's what we're known for. I mean, we kill ourselves. There's different tribes of humans that have been trying to kill other different tribes of humans. Why would I befriend something that looks demonic? Not going to do it. I was playing that. What was that game? Baldur's Gate. And they've created a whole race of, that's races. White, Asian, that's not races, that's different tribes. Races are like freaking elves and dwarves and, that kind of stuff, not different ethnicities. But anyways, I digress. So I'm playing this Baldur's Gate, and, I'm out of the D&D thing for many, many years. I haven't played that since I was 15 years old or 14 years old or something like that, mid-'80s. But now they've got this, elves, half-elf, they always had that, half-demon kind. These, they look like demons, but they're just misunderstood, and, it's just like, I don't like that shit, so, why can't it be humans and, elves with a really loose alliance, but you know I don't want to sleep with them or anything. You know, just you guys stay over there and we'll go over here. You know, this commingling in the fantasy world just doesn't interest me. No, the idea is, I'm one part whale and a quarter. I'm a quarter part whale, quarter part tree, um, and I'm part snail and part alien or something like that. It's like what the fuck? I mean, I guess in those a lot of these fantasy settings, there's not such a thing as a miscarriage. Like if every birth comes to fruition and there's bestiality, it's like come on, man. Well, I know lots of people that are like they're anti-playing humans. I'm like, I like playing humans. I'm glad that I was created as a human. And there's evil humans. There's no doubt about it. I remember this one post I should have saved at one time. I woke up and this is several years ago, and I saw this crazy post on some Facebook site that it was somebody that was trolling, or I don't know if they really child abduction. So why are you telling me there's a child abduction? Am I allowed to load up with firearms and go hunt the perpetrator down? No. Then why let me know? I mean, do you need people to go on your pitchfork hide? No. Then it's 4 counties over, and you're not going to let me torture him until we get the answer where the little kid is. Don't call on me. You don't need my services. Don't mess with little kids. Not cool. Damn child molester now. I don't know where I was at due to child molesters. Yeah, I know several people. They won't. This post. So there was this post that I should have saved it. It came in and it was something along the sides of. I think it had something to do with humans colonizing another planet. And this guy's post was basically saying that we shouldn't do that because we've already ruined this planet. What gives us the right to go to, do something like that? And then it turned into basically them welcoming other aliens to come down here and straighten our shit out. And I'm sitting there thinking, you haven't even met another alien and you've already turned your back on the human race. I'm like, we should just lynch you now. I'm always going to be in favor of the humans. I don't care what color your skin is. It's got nothing to do with that. That's an ethnicity. That's like, I like eating Mexican food. I like eating, whatever food. Well, okay, we can get along. But yeah, don't turn your back on the human race, man. Guess that means if I played Warhammer, I'd be what? I'd be Empire. I don't know. There's Empire Dwarves or something like that. I wouldn't put up with that. I'm a jingoistic human player. Now, there's some rules. There's 2 games in particular that I'm sure there's people out there, but I have never heard them say a bad word about. And they're Games Workshop games. One of them is Mordheim. Everybody speaks highly of Mordheim. I'm sure there's somebody out there who didn't like it. But as a general rule, they had a really positive and discontinued. And the other one was Man of War. And man, Man of War looked good. And now it might play like trash, but aesthetically, it looked good in White Dwarf. Sea creatures, sea creatures are cool. That's just that's a neat concept. But again, the the Games Workshop overlords didn't want people to play it. I don't know. Just seems like their heart's in the wrong place if they had one. Okay, this one's completely done with all of the wheels and the tire on the back. All right. Everybody left. Everybody's on that. Everybody's going to hunt that child molester down. I bet if that happened in the Old West, if you had that technology, we could go hunt them down and do whatever we wanted to with them before we brought them to justice. Man of War was a big footprint game. Could only be played comfortably at our club. So you got to play like on a 4x6, huh? What do you guys think about that Cruel Seas? I know it's hokey, like scale wise and stuff, but speaking of hokey, what was the name of that game that they came out like with 5 or 6 years ago? That it was like a World War One ship game, but all the ships were compressed. You know what I'm talking about? So you had like the Koenig, and it would normally be this long, and it would be this tall, and they would compress it so it'd still be the same height, but almost kind of like G scale rank. What am I talking about? Trains. You're here, coincidentally weathering a Panzer IV F2. Elven and Bretonnian fleets. What's Bretonnian? Is it like British Empire? Arthurian stuff? What Panzer IV are you doing? I mean the F2. Which one are you doing? You painting it in gray, or is it going to North Africa, or who makes it? It's an attractive vehicle. I think the G looks slightly better without the bulbous thing, but we're gonna mess with some snow vehicles right now. Well, I mean, not right now. I mean, today, at some point today. It might be late today, but we'll try it on a. We're gonna try it on a T-34 Model 40. I have enough of them I have almost like too many of them. And we're not going to try to do a shitty job. Just, if it doesn't turn out exactly how I want it, I'm okay with it. Bretonnia is a French-style feudal state. Italeri. So it is. Is it a new model or is it the one that? It's the one that comes with the F1s, right? Came as part of the Stalingrad box set. Oh, did you get one of those big ass freaking factories? God, that's a lot of freaking rubble. With a lot of red dust. One of those big MDF factories. That's bigger than your flat in New York. Come on, man. That's huge. Bretonnia's French. Oh, that appeals to me more. I'm not a fan. Time to piss off the Brits. I'm not a fan of the Arthurian stuff at all. Like, you guys should have better heroes than some make-believe guy. You could do better than that. And I love British things. Don't get me wrong. I just think that Arthur's stuff is just poppycock. A rope. You guys can do better than that. I never would have built an Arthurian army for DBA. Man of War needed a big table to play and just so much space for all the ship cards and counters. I know, I told you I get in plenty of trouble on your own. Honey, where's the bed? Oh, it's between the Tractor Works and the and Mamayev Hill. Just sleep here between the Tractor Works and Mamayev. Just move the rubble off to the side. Oh man. Stalingrad. I'm not a fan of Stalingrad. And I'm wondering why I'm not a fan of Stalingrad. I'm not a fan. I mean, Stalingrad has a lot of really good things going for it. The best thing it has going for Stalingrad is, and I did not know this, is the Germans captured 95% of the fucking city before they were themselves captured. So that right there is epic. That's like the perfect clincher. Like they damn near won and they didn't. That's pretty neat. So in that respects, that's pretty darn good. I guess one of the things that really appeals to the Germans, at least for me, is that they have units that have a rich history, or they have, interesting symbols, and I know they're rat bastards, but it doesn't matter. And the Russians probably would too if there was more information on them. And the units at Stalingrad just don't interest me. I don't like the 24th Panzer Division. I don't like that symbol. I think it looks stupid, but, maybe somebody else likes it. So the Panzer Divisions aren't necessarily very memorable or very interesting. I think that probably is part of what it... And then also, you shouldn't have vehicles in that type of an environment. But... that doesn't mean I wouldn't play a Stalingrad game. I'm just not screaming to build stuff for it. I don't know if that makes any sense. The time period's right. I think that's the best time period where the Germans are, more experienced than the Soviets and have, And they've got some long barrel threes, and they've got some Mark IV F2s that can deal with the T. Yeah, I'd say that a Mark IV F2 is better than a T-34 at that point. You know, slightly better. But if they encounter a T-34, the T-34 can penetrate all the German tanks. You know. You'd like a lot of lead-up scenarios of Case Blue, especially some of the action around Kalak. Well, I love Wintergewitter, and I don't know why. Argument as to this really goes on because he once disguised himself as a woman. A Welsh council suggested he may have been LBGT. Arthur, a make-believe guy that was... I just don't know why he needs that kind of alphabet soup definition. He just, are you a dude? Are you into dudes? Yeah, okay. You know? Zenmax, so cool. I wish Soviets were real. They're as real as the Nazis on this tabletop. So I went to the convention, somebody gave me a movie recommendation. And I haven't taken them up on it because it's not a free movie. That doesn't mean I can't afford $4, but when you're looking at it, I don't want to... When you pay for a movie rental, you feel like almost like obliged to finish watching it, even if it sucks. At least I do. Now, I'm 2/3 of the way through Unbroken, and my daughter and I are looking at each other going, do we really need to watch the rest of this movie? And it's not because it's specific, it's because it's just like boring. I remember watching the preview a long time ago. So this could be pretty good. I don't think I really like it, but okay. So we're done with these guys. But the movie recommendation I got was from somebody at a convention I spent quite a bit of time talking to that I'd never met before, and they said that the movie was called Unknown Soldier, and it's a Finland thing, and it's not the Kikusu or whatever the thing, the axe murderer that goes after Nazis, because, you know, I'm fine with the Finns making a movie where they go after Nazis, but, you know, they spent most of the time fighting on the same side as them, so wouldn't you make like 3 or 4 or 5 movies about them, you know, in the continuation war, before you'd make one about the, you know, the exception to that? But anyhow, Unknown Soldier. Don't know if any of you guys have seen it. TLT is based on a true story. What's TLT? I wish things weren't based on a true story, because then you could, you know, well, they could go crazy. Then you got time travel and shit like that. Hollywood would just fuck it up. I think we're kind of okay. I'm going to just use black paint for this. Hollyweird. So I see that the original Midway's on Netflix. I should watch that with the daughter. I saw the second one in a movie theater with my daughter, and neither one of us liked it. Saw you shifting. I'm not a fan of super glue. And I'm going to paint both of these MGs also. Although one of these seems to be kind of weak. The peg's a little It's this one. Arthur was a cross-dresser, huh? How am I going to grab this thing? Got any of those thingamaclamps? Certainly got some of those thingamaclamps floating around here somewhere. This really needs to go back on the corner, but there you go. Way overkill for these. Like the first better, we tried to cover too much ground in the second film, though I like the computer generated graphics. One of the guys commented or came up on a movie thing that I'm not even subscribed to on Facebook. I wonder how I get that. I get news from channels that I'm not subscribed to. And the guy said he worked on 3D graphics. And he said the 3D graphics on it just seemed weird, and I agree. I thought they looked really odd. I really disliked the way that bomb was treated skipping across the deck. And I'm not saying bombs can't skip across the deck, but they don't skip like that. This isn't going to work. We need to use, this is not covering well. We need to use this stuff. I saw it, but a long time ago. You know, the original one. And who knows, I may not like it either. There's a fair chance of that happening. You know, I don't put a whole lot of effort into special effects unless they really catch me off guard. And one of the things that caught me off guard is the Pearl Harbor movie. I know everybody hates it. But that Arizona blowing up was pretty cool. If you ever want to know what a ship looked like when it ate too many tamales, that's what it would look like. The only decent air-related movies are the ones that use real aircraft. Tora was great. It was slow, but it was great. Midway and Battle of Britain are better than any CGI. I didn't care for Battle of Britain. I thought it tried to cover too many things. I didn't care for Battle of Britain. I saw it recently for the first time. Maybe that was the problem, but Okay, that could be percolating. Okay, the tracks are painted on this big old commie joker. So you know what time it is. It's time to look at decals. Yeah, baby. Let's just get it over with. Even though I'm probably not going to get any good ideas from it. Stalin's heavy tanks. Alright, that's not one. We're going to look at the JS's first. Oh, does one of these have a full down? I know one of these has a full down. You know, these things that I got from the military book club. That's just a piece of paper. No, 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 nope. This. It's this. Military book club will give you these fold-outs here with the artwork. That's pretty cool. So you get an Osprey book and you would get these little fold-out things. They need Yacht Panther at some point. So let's do it at 476. I haven't looked at these in ages. Oh, here's a flamethrower with that new turret we want to have. I'm pretty sure I got one of the Soviet tanks like that. Here it is. Stalin's heavy tanks. Anything in here worth? This Berlin one, I don't really like that has a bear that's covering over the red star. This one's okay. 313. Actually, I think I got a B. I have a BP cast JS2. It looks like ass. I believe that's what's on the turret of it. Did the barrel fall off again? No, I tried to be elusive and called this one 213. Break this thing off. It's slightly smaller. I guess I should. I gotta find the barrel before I go make the finish in that. Where'd the barrel go? Ugly piece of shit. Soviet tanks in combat. If I do a wargaming room again, I'd probably put that all over the wargaming room, but not those. My wife would be like, let's have the kids' room. I'm like, yeah, I'm a big kid. Did you just figure that out? Soviet tanks in combat. These are all medium tanks. Downfall of the Reich. Downfall of the Nazi bastards. Okay. That goes along with this one. Which goes along with this one. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm not going to find anything that I like about these books. Here's the Downfall book. The Gratian book. JS2 is one around Figuration. I'm pretty sure they were. I can't think right now. I've been away from World War II too long. Okay, let's take a look at here. Let's see if we find anything that is worthy of our attention. It is SU-76. It is. There's 3 of them. Cute little guys. And Joseph Stalin's. All right, let's do this Downfall last. Armor battles on the Eastern Front, 43 to 45. Let's see if there's any JS2s in here. Well, there's one here on the back. I want some with a little bit more personality. They don't all have to be from the same unit, but here's the sloppy ass painting. I can't paint that. I can't paint that bad. I can't paint that poorly. It just looks wrong. I don't do Polish vehicles. I don't do Polish and Czechoslovakian vehicles. Not my thing. In Soviet service. Okay, here's one down here. Soviet armored troops advanced past demolished remains of a German town on the way to Berlin. Both JS2s from a late production series probably belong to the same units as carry the same emblem painted in different places on the turrets. Note that most armored vehicles in the photo are missing their front mudguards. This was typical of Soviet tanks throughout the war. I'm not going to cut those off now. It's a bit late. I got some of my T-34s that I did that with. Okay, it has like this guards unit, this little circle. Okay, I'm not opposed to doing that. I'd like them both to be different. Give them a little bit of personality. You can't just paint a bunch of Russian tanks green and then have people care about them. Here's the back of an SU-76. Ooh, and tells you the serial number. An SU-76M, serial number 412145, is involved in a street fight in a small German town. The self-propelled gun was commanded by Lieutenant A.L. Lalak. Note that the interior of the bitch, as the gun was nicknamed, is painted in white. Also, it does have a white interior. Well, mine won't. I'll leave mine green, because I just think for aerial recognition, that's going to be enough. And it's too late. It's stand out like a sore thumb. It looks like it's got white paint here on the side. Maybe it has a partial snow camouflage or something. Bitch, where's bitch written on it? That's Soviet ARV. Yep. Yeah, it's unusual to find a photo of one of those. Just be easier for the Soviets just to build more tanks than repair other ones. Just build more. Spit them out. Normally these go from late forward, so I suspect the further along I go, the less likely I'm going to run into a JS. These ISUs are really attractive. I think they're really good looking. Okay, here's the 305. Yeah, see, this paint's haphazardly done, but it looks okay. I like T70s. I like how they look. They might be a piece of crap, but I like how they look. Okay, we're not going to get anything. It's funny, this is a picture, according to this is a Panzer Gray, Panzer 4G from the Grossdeutschland. Now, Grossdeutschland was one of those units that ended up getting a whole tank battalion, even though they were a Panzer Grenadier division, when they pushed in the south of Russia. And they were one of the vehicles, one of the units that, pushing in the south of Russia, they had experimental camouflage. So some of their panzers were in, not Dunkelgelb, but in a sand yellow as an experiment. And this says early 43, so it looks like they didn't like that too much and went back to some gray vehicles. Or maybe that was replacement ones they got from somebody else. But it's interesting that Grossdeutschland would have had gray vehicles later than at the time when they had some of the experimental sand stuff. Okay, what do we got here? We've got Stalin's heavy tanks, KV and IS. Okay, well here's the one with the bear, which I'm actually fine with it. I just don't want the bear covering over the red star. And I like the look of the red star. I think it looks snazzy. This is not a decal set of some vehicles. Big ass 65. JSU 150, ISU 152. A total of 48 T-35s were operational with the Red Army at the beginning of the war on June 22nd, 1941, with the 67th and 68th Tank Regiments of the 34th Tank Division, 8th Mechanized Corps in Ukraine. So they fought against Army Group South. Of these, only 5 were lost in combat. The remainder were abandoned due to mechanical breakdowns. So I'm always looking for markings on T-35s because they're so damn rare. Here's a Model 35. Okay, this has the slope turrets. Probably 68th Tank Regiment was abandoned in the Lvov area of western Ukraine. It was apparently taken over by Ukrainian nationalist military units allied with the Germans. Well, I'm not interested in captured vehicles, so it has Gloria Stefan Bandera. Slava Stepanov Banderi, referring to Ukrainian nationalists. Yeah, I'm like, oh good, one with writing on it. Well, I'm not going to do captured shit. T-35, Model 35, captured by Slovak troops. Vehicle has 2 horizontal white bars on the turret side. Probably a marking of the 68th Tank Regiment. And it has a red star there. I'm going to take a photo of this because I've got some T-35s to do, and I'm always looking for it's easier for me to find on my phone. I wonder what book it's in. Sorry, I wasn't looking for T-35, but Yeah, I definitely have some sinus thing because my teeth hurt in a sinus type way. Yeah, so you can't do like, let's say you want to do this unit. What's written on here? They carry the name Zerinsky, leader of the Cheka secret police during the 1917 revolution. I don't want a whole unit that has the same logo on them. That's like a missed opportunity. You know, I don't mind doing one and then move on to a different one. And yeah, they wouldn't operate together, but I don't care. And it's a little bit of modeling inside of the pictures. I don't like doing captured vehicles. Here's that 313. Oh, this looks kind of cool. Little white little brush marks. That could take a while. Oh, this is an interesting story on here. IS-2M, 29th Guards Heavy Tank Regiment, 4th Guards Tank Corps, 1st Ukrainian Front. Man, that's a mouthful. Wiliska, Poland, January 1945. Commanded by Lieutenant Colonel. Wow. Big deal. Lieutenant Colonel Vasily P. Ichenko. This regiment was one of the few equipped with KV-85s in August 43, and later re-equipped in October 44 with new IS-2M tanks to make up for attrition. Although normally a separate regiment, it served with the 4th Guards Tank Corps through the remainder of the war. At the time of the Vistula Oder offensive, it had 19 out of an authorized 21 heavy tanks. It had a relatively unusual snow camouflage consisting of small patches of whitewash over the normal dark green finish. This regiment was involved with fighting against German King Tiger tanks in the January battles. Interesting. We're not there yet. We haven't perfected snow yet. We can come back and do that one later. What's this? 62nd Guards Heavy Tank Regiment. Commanded by Yevgeny F. Ivanovsky. This regiment was one of the first to receive the new IS-2 in May 44. In late 44, the regiment was assigned to 8th Guards Tank Corps, serving in this unit throughout the war. By the time of the 44-45 operation, Soviet tank corps began to become more extensive use of tactical symbols to assist in the control of road marches. This tank shows one of the tactical symbols used by 8th Guards Tank Corps. The tactical significance of 51S, interesting, the S is a C, but may have identified the regiment. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, here's another one. 78th Guards Tank Regiment, 7th Mechanized Corps. Well, I like this one. Actually, I like both of these. Unfortunately, you don't have the white stripe across it, which I actually like. I know it's just done for Berlin, but oh, this is interesting. This bear one. IS-2M, 104th Guards Heavy Tank Regiment, 7th Guards Tank Brigade, Berlin 45. After serving in the Arctic north of Finland and Norway in the autumn of 44, the brigade was re-equipped with JS-2M tanks Due to the recent Arctic experiences, the brigade decided to adopt the polar bear as its insignia, as well as its nickname, the Beli Medvedi, the White Bears. The insignia was a white bear on a red star. It's well known unit as it was committed to the Berlin fighting and took part in the fighting near the Reichstag. It was painted with white turret bands as an Allied recognition insignia. Some tanks in the unit also had white crosses painted on the roof for the same reason. The vehicle tactical numbers identify the regiment with the first digit, 104th, 105th, 106th Heavy Tank Regiments, then the company and the vehicle. Many vehicles had Communist Youth League, had names painted on the turret rear to the right of the machine gun position. In this case of this vehicle, the top word is Kosmolets, referring to the Young Communist Youth League, but the lower word is badly obscured by grime and is unreadable. This particular tank was knocked out during the fight, and after the war, its turret was surreptitiously shipped to the United States for tactical analysis. And here's, of course, the JS3s, which supposedly never went into action. The Pikes. Here's a picture of 313. Here's a 43. Here's one with a bunch of little camouflage on it. I like this big old 3-3 on it. See lots of photos of JS2s. It's a fairly attractive looking tank. It looks better at certain angles. There's a lot of pictures of JS2s. Yeah, in particular this angle from the back, I think is a really attractive looking vehicle. No hull machine gun. Did I mention there was a lot of pictures of JS2s? Good Lord. Oh, here's one of these bears. I'm not ready to do something that's fighting near the Reichstag. I have no interest really in doing that type of city fight type thing. It's a 537. These are parade ones. Let's see what else we got. There's some useful stuff in there. I'm probably not going to find anything in this Soviet heavy tanks. I've had this thing a long time. There's that same photo. There's that same photo. So I think this is a JS2M. Here's that big 33, majestic view. I don't know about all that, but it looks good. I like this one with the yellow numbers. I'm doing one of them like this. I'm doing one of them with this 29. There's one of the Russian bear things. That's a different hull, isn't it? No, it's the same. Let's save this off to the side. downfall. There's some photos of JS2s in here. Lots of boxes of ammo on that 234-85. Here's some JS2s. That one has no markings on it. That's unacceptable. And this one just has some white numbers on it. Panther. Okay, that's it. So we got these two. We got these two books. Now, look at this one that has the yellow numbers on it. Because there's one that's similar like that. That has like that D symbol in the triangle. And that reminds me of this one. But it has yet white numbers. I think I'm going to do this version of it. I don't think I'm going to do the red. I don't think I'm going to do the all yellow numbers, because they might have gotten the colors wrong on that. So we're going to do one like this. And probably the other one like this. As much as I actually don't like the bear over the red star. I think the red star by itself looks pretty cool. I like the red star as a symbol. It's a good symbol. It's a lot better than that hammer and sickle shit. I like the red star. And red star like you. Let's put these away. Okay, so let's do my favorite thing that I like to do, and that is paint decals on. And late war, Soviets really didn't use much slogans. They already knew they were going to kick the shit out of the Germans, so it's kind of a foregone conclusion. Let's get one that's light color. Oh, we're going to use white. There's no doubt about it. These are going to look great. I'm certain of it, comrade. I don't care if that water's a little dirty. We're going to weather the tank anyways. Let's get a brush that we perform miracles with. And let's get that little bit of black off is it the ferrule? The end of it? I want these things to move well. These are Pegasus ones, by the way, which are questionable sometimes. I think these were okay. Yeah. But they fit, they're weird. Sometimes they fit together so well, you don't even need glue. I mean, I'll eventually glue this, but The KVs are the same way as well. But the plastic is really, really brittle. Oh, we need a tiny little bit of black. Big propaganda text also looks good at tanks. It does. It certainly does. I have lots of them with it, hand painted. I take it you speak Russian? How about this one? So I was playing, I know it's unrealistic, but I was playing Call of Duty. I remember playing one mission a long time ago where you had T-34-85s. And in that particular game, when you pointed at another tank, it told you what the name of it was. Oh, this is a problem. Is it? Hold on a second. We've got an issue. And I'm not quite sure what it is. Got something that ate the coating on my glasses, which, you know, is a problem because I don't use them that much, but it's right smack in the middle. I wonder what it was. I don't think it was super glue. It like ate the coating on the glasses. Wow. Well, that's annoying as shit. You gotta get a new prescription anyways, so at least it messed with the frame. Okay, well, something else to spend money on. How freaking strange. I haven't been using plastic cement. Because normally it'd be like, okay, well maybe they got plastic cement on it. Oh well, shit happens. At least it happened after I had them 6 years. Anyway, so I was playing that game. And I wanted one of the T-34s to have. One of them was called Tiger Tamer. So I went and used the Google thing on there and I got a Tiger Tamer T-34-85. So these all have to be sprayed. But we got Suvorov over here. And I like the Soviet tanks. You know, if you give them some personality, not just paint them green and make them look like shit. Even though some did look like shit. Well, some German tanks look like shit. So, we don't paint those. We want the ones that look, you know, decent. Example, motherland. Oh yeah, I got lots of motherland. You're Turkish, my English not very good, but I know Russia a bit. Okay. Well, let's, no, not a big deal. It's not like I wear them out or anything. They're pretty much just for when I take my contacts out. As long as you don't do it to your real eye, you're okay. Okay, it looks like the 18. Let's do the 18 first. I want that on the command tank. That's not what I was going for. What is this? going to give myself a little bit of room. I'm going to move it over more to the left than it is on the real vehicle. I like sketching in light gray. You don't have to worry about it. And they're relatively close to each other. And are they squarish or they're roundish? I want to say they're squarish a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of an interesting looking 8. I like these Russian looking numbers. I'd show you my Ottoman Turk army, but they're put away. It's kind of like that. And we're going to use that color that I found this week that I really liked as a back color for yellow. And it's this medium flesh tone. We're going to get all the decals in the right in the place where we want them before we commit to it. Because you don't want this beautiful number, beautiful writing, and it ends up being in the wrong place. Look like a surgeon. This is easy. This is therapeutic. Finally, the one thing I'm good at. No. You want me to blow you away? No. This was easy. I did it on live on video. Whereas, what I like is when you write things in another language and you don't even know what it is, and somebody who speaks the language goes, oh yeah, I know what that says. I did that with an Arabic thing. No, I don't speak Arabic. For Soviet Moldova. It just took a while. But, you know, you find a picture and you want to paint something that's on the picture and they don't make decals for it, or it costs a fortune, or the shipping costs a fortune, just do it yourself. That's how you learn about other countries. Paint their armies. I love my Ottoman Turk army. They didn't do very well in battle, but I still like them. Okay. They didn't do very well in the battles that I played with them. Let me put it that way. Okay, so that we need a triangle, and then we need that D symbol in it. Okay, so the triangle is going to be, I might overscale it a little bit, just so we got some space to work with. How vertical is it? It's pretty flat. It's relatively flat. All right. So anyways, my daughter's roommate is here, and she speaks Russian. And she was looking at my tanks, I was showing her, says, why does that say something about a tiger? I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, well, I guess I did it right. If you want people to care about your vehicles, you need to give them some personality. Alright, this is the one that has like the little legs, and then it has a D with a curly at the top. Alright, so we've got little legs. It's so much easier if you just sketch this out to begin with. got yellow on here. Let's go ahead and fill the yellow out. Well, we'll fill this color in. It's all about a brush that can do the heavy lifting. You also need a table that doesn't move. Actually, what you want to do, what you need to have is the will to want to do it. There's a little triangle with a D in it. Normally I would have gone around the other side and done the other side. That's too late. We're already on this popsicle stand. Let's do it in between white before we go full white on there. Is there any? No, just a straight, nothing fancy on it. You don't have to worry about who makes the although it is fun surfing for decals and then hand painting them yourself anyways, because the shipping just kills you. And you gotta wait too. Now, unfortunately, the whole front of that is pretty blank. That's just how the real one is. Let's move over to the other side. Now this one's a little tricky. I'm going to have to do my artistic license. My artistic license is, I'm going to assume that this symbol still stays in the same position, even though the numbers are reversed. Even though it's 1-8, this little symbol is going to stay in the same spot. So that's, and there goes the super glue. We're going to epoxy that on there. Well, that one stuck. The other one didn't. Okay, so let's do the 18 on this side, leaving ourselves enough room for the little diamond. And they're hand painted numbers, so you know, if they don't look exactly the same on both sides, that's okay. One side's always just a little bit smaller than the other one. And that's when they're not being painted by somebody who's an alcoholic. This medium flesh tone is actually a really good color for a lot of things. And I got it recently. I've got almost all the Vallejo colors, and I just, I never had a use for it. I certainly don't use it for flesh. And the only reason this should be your flesh tone is if you're playing The Simpsons. If you're painting like The Simpsons, it's awfully yellow for anybody's flesh tone. Typical. This one looks even better. Damn it. Than the other side. And we'll straighten that out with some brighter yellow. It's all about patience, one stroke at a time, break it down into basic shapes. Have a brush you can have a lot of confidence in. I'm not pressing deep on the brush either. I knew it was going to happen. A little more, a little more, a little more. Oh, too much. I'm going to use this as a base because this color, not all colors are created the same. This medium flesh tone is an incredible color. It really is. It covers really well for a color this yellow. It covers really well. Wish I'd discovered it sooner. Just want to pull towards yourself. Got to keep this paint moist. And it just looks empty up here, but that's how the little tank is. Where's that big old 33 one? We should do the big old 33. Significantly different looking. There's 313. Here it is. Oh, this isn't a 2M. This is a 2. Does it really fucking matter? I don't think so. Not to me. Some nice weld marks. We'll be able to pick those up. Now, let's do the 51C like we planned. Five's in the center, even with the center of the cupola. I gotta really cram towards the back on these. opposite 5 look like? Okay. Bottom part significantly larger than the top. There's a 51C, 51S, and then this symbol's wider than a number, but not as tall. That's how that one's going to look. So go to the other side. The same. I'm going to have to assume that divisional marking is in the same place. So it's going to go straight across. So it's going to be for it. There's the 51C. Almost looks like a shoulder tab symbol. So now we got it on both sides. Let's fill it in. Maybe these numbers are so far towards the back because this is a really big gun, which is going to put a lot of powder out there and make it, the side of the turret, really dirty. And if you put it farther towards the front, you won't be able to read it. I'm just, I'm thinking outside the box here, like it's got to be something. Now, does that one have a tiny little tail at the top? Go in here with pure white. We're going to weather this, so you don't want them to be dull. It'll be dulled a little bit even more. If you notice, I haven't really been using a wet palette. There's just other layers of extra drama in there. Actually, I'm gonna cut this one down a little bit in size, a little bit square. So what we're gonna do in here, I believe I used Russian green for this. Yeah, Russian green. Let's find it. Ah, blammo. Done. We'll clean up the bottom of that. After you weather, you won't be able to tell it at all. And then when we go to weather, we'll start on that one. Well, we need to do better than that. We're gonna darken it ever so slightly. Or not. Okay, here's the two JS's. Take a little bit of potty break. I'll be right back. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I hate mixing up a pocket just for freaking this little amount. I feel like it's the only thing that's going to hold that together. Let's give it one more. Let's give it one more try. We'll start weathering this one first. Not worried about that old piece of pizza crap. Let's move this book out of the way. Alright. US Field Drab. Where are you? Nope, that's beige brown. Bye-bye. We'll need you in a second when we do the other things on there. I like painting the tools afterwards. Otherwise the tools get lost. You paint all these things really nicely, but then you end up dry brushing over them, weathering them. It's like, it doesn't look like you even painted them. Like, you just wasted your time. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like wasting my time. Five silent folks. Welcome, welcome. Grab a seat. Oh, I see you already have. All right, US Field Drab. The napkin's working a lot better than the cardboard. Like, I can replace the napkin a lot easier. I've limited availability on this cardboard. All right, I'm going to go ahead and remove this. There's going to be two colors on here on the dry brush. I don't know why I'm doing the other side. You won't be able to see that, but I bet Russians never wash their tanks. I'm just gonna take. I bet most people don't wash their tanks. That's how it stays. Ain't nobody got time for that. Sometimes they even didn't paint tanks. Sometimes, you know. We won't model those. That just doesn't look right. You know. You know, there's several things I don't do. I don't do British vehicles with white stars on them. It just doesn't look right to me. I don't care if they did it in real life. I'm not going to do it. If you make something and it's such a weird thing that you have to everybody asks you the same thing, it just gets annoying. And especially if it's something you don't even care for in the first place. You know, it's something if you care for, you have to explain it to people. Well, tough. That's how I wanted to do it. But if it's something you don't care for, like, hey, why do these British vehicles have white stars on? That's a good question. I don't know why it's stupid. Well, why'd you build it that way? So the way I get around it is, not all British vehicles, for instance, had a white star on them. So those are the ones I choose to model. And normally I was just lazy. I normally would have modified one of these numbers. I'd make that 17 or something like that. Make that 52C something. But I just felt lazy. It doesn't really make a difference. Gives me an excuse to buy more of these vehicles and do more of them. I'm really not going to be able to tell the difference of how good this is until the other dry brush color's on here, and then when we do the pin wash on it. That's when the truth comes out. As you go up and up on the hull, there's less and less of this on here. Be careful, a lot of this plastic is really, really brittle on this. On these Pegasus. They make a lot of Soviet stuff. I thought there was a Russian company, but it's not. It's a Chinese company. You gotta leave room for this other color. So we're gonna finish one completely. That gives this thing some time to dry anyways. Iraqi sand. sometimes not painting those vehicles or making it a story vehicle is more work than just painting one that's in good condition. In relatively good condition. You gotta make it look believable. And these are the two little exhaust things up here. And honestly, it doesn't look that great. Well, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look as good as it's going to look when we do the pin washing. So that's what we're going to do next. Let's finish this one all the way up. I don't do any pin washing on the running gear. Because that's dusty enough, it's going to stay that way. This big beautiful turret here. It's all beautiful because you're not inside of it. It's that 3-ring shit show right there. Russians and their saws. Like a mobile sawmill everywhere you go. I wonder how long this thing's gonna take to reload the game. Be right back. All right, so I'm gonna take a meal break, but oh, we've been on here. Yeah, wow. This stuff takes a while. So we're on our way. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get these KV2s done. KV2s, JS2s. I already did the KV2s. These JS2s done today, but it's just a matter of pin washing, doing that kind of stuff. Hopefully we make them look pretty interesting. They're kind of a basic tank with basic markings. They really need a red star up there, but it's kind of the exception to the rule, them having red stars. But anyways, thanks for stopping by, folks, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe if this is something you're